talking about word problems and unpacking them. A lot of you have been struggling. So today we're going to look at the cubes method. Does everybody see that on the board there? C stands for, can you see it? C stands for circle the important numbers or labels. U stands for underline the question. Remember, we were going through and some of the information in the question is not relevant. So you need to be able to underline the information that you need. D stands for, you want to put a box around the operation. Some of them have you adding, subtracting, dividing, or multiplying. And then E, you're going to explain your question. What are the labels? What information do you have? What information do you need? And S, you're going to solve it step by step. So first we're going to do these few practice ones, and then we're going to use the cube method with the work that you had yesterday. Okay? So the first one says, Mom sliced a cucumber into 24 slices. She put 5 slices into Jared's lunch, 6 slices into Casey's lunch, and she snacked on 7 slices. How many slices will she have left for tomorrow's lunch? So first is C. Circle important numbers. What numbers are important? 24, 5, 6, and 7. Good. Next, we want to underline the question. What question are they asking you? Okay, what's she going to have left? So underline that. B stands for put a box around the operation. What are we going to do with those numbers? We're going to add them up. So now we're at E. We're going to explain our questions. What labels will you have answers for? So what do you need to know? First thing you need to know is how many what? How many slices? Okay, how many slices she used? Okay, and if that, how did you get 18? She added up the slices that Mom gave out, and we had 18. Now, with that, how many did she start with? 24. So what do we do with the numbers 24 and 18? We're going to subtract. So how many slices were left? 6. So she had 6 slices. Make sure when you get to your answer that you are writing down what we're talking about. Don't just put 6. 6 what? Okay. So if you turn to the back, there's one more practice we're going to go through. Demonte, when you finish, we're working on unpacking our word problems. You all ready for the second one? All right. One day at school, Jake and Cooper both had different types of fruit snacks in their lunch. Jake's bag had 26 snacks and Cooper's bag had 35 fruit snacks. They combined the bags and Cooper ate 42 of the snacks. How many were left for Jake? So, what numbers are important? 26, 35, and 42. Demonte, I'll put the paper right here for you. What is the question they're asking us? How many did Jake have left? So we want to underline that. What operations are we going to use? And addition and subtraction, good. So if we look at it, what are we going to do with 26, 35, and 42? We're going to add what? Okay, we're going to add 26 plus 35 and get what? So there's 61 total. And How many did Cooper eat? 42. And if he's eating them, then we're subtracting. So what was left for Jake? Are we sure? 49. Are we sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Are you positive?
61 minus 42 is 19.
Can we check it? So what is 42 plus 19? This is 11, and this is 6. Good. Okay. So everybody got that? Okay, so are we clear? Cubes. First we're going to circle the important numbers and labels. U, we're going to underline what is the question. B, we're going to box the operation. E, we're going to explain the question. And S, we're going to solve it step by step. So if you turn to your packet, and I believe someone has Devontae's. Can we put that on vibrate, please? Okay. All right. The first question is Jennifer. So I want you all to use the cube method and unpack it. Take a few minutes. It said Jennifer had $30 to spend on herself. She spent 1/5 of the money on a sandwich, 1/6 for a ticket. No, not this one. And for a ticket to the museum, and 1/2 of it on a book. How much does she have left over? We did one very similar to that. That's why we felt like we did it. But it didn't talk about her going to the museum. I think it talked about birthday gifts or gifts for something. Was it Christmas? Okay. So, what are the important numbers? 30, right? Okay. So, what things do we need to do first? What's the first thing we need to do? So, we're going to circle 30, circle 1/5, 1/6, and 1/2. What are the things, what do we need to find out about those fractions? How much money? Okay, how much it equals in money. Okay, so what is, how do we figure that out? How do we figure out what 1/5 of $30 is? And we need 1/6 of $30, right? And 1/2. Well, the half, you guys can do that. I knew that. 30. So that equals $15. Okay, so what, how do we do 1/6? How do you know? So you divided it by 6, good job. I just wanted to know how. So this is $5. So then what's $6? Good. $6. So what are they asking us? So what are we going to do with 6, 5, and 15? When we get what? So we're taking it away from 30, and if we add it up, we get 20 what? 26. So how much money does she have left? Okay. We're going to look at the second one, and that's on the board here too. Can somebody come up for me and circle the important numbers and labels? Can you circle it? It's right here. It said Mark drove 1/2 of the trip. Justice drove 1/4 of the trip. Gina and Caitlin evenly split the rest of the trip. If the entire trip was 128 miles, how many miles did Caitlin drive? Okay? So, I'm going to get someone else to come underline the question. What do they want us to find out. We want to know how many miles did Caitlin drive? What are the operations? What words tell us what to do? Well, we know we have to divide because it says what? Gina and Caitlin divided the rest of the trip. What's 1/4? Of what number? 128. So, can we figure out what half of 128 is? What is half of 128? Come on, my math genius. What's half of 128? So 64 is half. What is 1/4 to 1/2? If I have 50 cents, that's 1/2 of a dollar, right? What's 1/4 of a dollar? Which is half of 50 cents. So half of 62 is what? 64 is what? 32. So this is how much Mark drove. This is how much Justin drove. So what do we do with those numbers? Add them together. If we add them together, we get what? So they drove a total of 96 miles. Well, we subtract it from 128, and we get what? Good. So 32 divided by 2 gives us 16, correct? So Caitlin drove 16 miles. How many of you got that when you did it on your own? Did you follow those same steps? You should have done it yesterday. That's right, today's Tuesday. So let's look at the third one. I want you to do the third one by yourself. This is one you didn't know how to do? Okay, so I want everybody to take a moment, read through this, come up with the steps, come up with the important numbers, see if you can explain it, and then we'll look at it together. How long? How long?
12:54.
Okay. 2 pie pans of the same size remain on the counter. One pan has a half a pie. The other pan has 3/4 of a pie left in it. Mom wishes to divide all the pie into pieces that are 1/8 of a pie. How many pieces of pie will she have left when she finishes? That's a lot. What are our important numbers? Okay. What do you mean, where's 2? She had 2 pies. Oh, one of the pie, 1/2 was eaten, right? On the other one, 3/4 was left. But she wants to split that into 1/8 pieces. So, what would be the easiest way to figure this out? What should we do with all of these numbers? That could be one way. When you have fractions with different denominators, what's the best way to work with them? But we want, how do you, but is it easy to just look at this and add it up? Yes or no? But if it said, what'd you say? Not one fraction. If I had 2/5, 6/5, and 3/5, could you add that up for me quickly?
Yeah.
Because what?
They got the same number.
Denominator. So what do we want to do with these? Make them the same. So we need to make everything over 8. So we're gonna, 2 goes into 8 how many times? 4. So we're just gonna make this equal to 4 over 8, right? 4 goes into 8 how many times?
2.
So this is 6 over 4. You got it? Half of the pie is 4 pieces. 3/4 of the pie is how many pieces? 6. How many pieces does each pie have? 8. So if we add it up, 2 pies, we have how many pieces? 16, right? So this pie, there were 4 pieces left. This pie, there were 2 pieces left. So if we add those together, what do we get? So how many pieces of 1/8 can we have left? 6. Okay. Let's draw a picture. You don't understand that we need to see. All right, so we've got 1 pie. We've got a second pie. This pie, this much is gone, right? This pie, this much is gone. So we said there's 8 pieces. So here, there's going to be 4 pieces left. See what I'm saying? And this one, there's gotta be 6 pieces left, right? So it says, of what's left, how many 1/8 pieces will she have? Well, each of these are an 8, correct? So how many will we have? 4 plus 2. Wait, did we do that wrong? We did. I apologize. It wasn't 3/4 eaten, it was 3/4 left. So this isn't 2, it's what? This is what's left. It's 6. So it's really 10 pieces. Okay, but do you understand? Like if this is what's gone, these are what's left. And if we count them up, we already cut them into 8s. If we count them up, we can still get 10 more pieces. Does that make sense? All right, good. All right. A rectangular field is 63 yards long and 21 yards wide. A fence is needed for the perimeter of the field. Fencing is also needed to divide the field in 3 square sections. How many feet of fencing will be needed? Should we draw a picture? What do we know? Hold on. Now I'm gonna go back to it so she can see. There we go. So what numbers are important? 63 and, yes. So this is our rectangle. 63 is the what? That's how long it is, right? 63 what? So this is 63 yards, and this is 21 yards. Perimeter, what's that? Half all the way, quarter, all the way around. So we need to not only find out what the perimeter is, it also wants us to have fencing in how many areas? How many areas? 3. So we have to also put fencing here. So this is what we need to fence, right? We fence all the way around.